Welcome back, everybody. This is John with My Small Business Blueprint. Wanted to welcome back Andrew Clark from O'Reilly Law Offices here in Central Ohio. In the previous video, we kind of talked about structuring your business, the difference between sole proprietor to LLC, things like that. You had things you should take into account. And one of the things you mentioned was a liability issue. Mm-hmm. And so to kind of delve a little bit deeper into this topic, my wife and I got started in small business by operating a bakery. And so one of the things with bakeries is people want cookies, but they wanted their cookies delivered to them as well. And we structured ourselves as an LLC. But talking to you, there may be some issues that we didn't take into account that I wanted you to be able to address.
Yeah, so when you're dealing with an LLC, a lot of people have this concept in their mind that this is an absolute kind of immunity from liability, that no one's ever going to come and sue you individually because you have this LLC. And unfortunately, that's a little bit of a misnomer, because as an individual, you are still liable personally for your conduct.
Right.
And so if you baked those cookies and you ended up driving them to someone's house, and in the meantime you get into an accident in a car that's owned by your LLC, while you're wearing your bakery uniform, you're clearly doing work of the LLC, but as the driver, you're still responsible for the fact that you were driving the vehicle. Now, the LLC is responsible because the business was doing something, but as a driver, you can still be personally liable. And so where the liability protection for an LLC comes into play is when there are liabilities that are created by the business that are not necessarily tied to the business owner.
Okay.
And so an easy way to think of that is you see it a lot with real estate holding companies, where someone will have a rental house, they put the rental house in the LLC, and somebody is upstairs and a banister breaks and a person falls and gets seriously injured. Right? That is a premises liability that is dealing with the structure. And so they would end up suing the owner of the property, which is the LLC. Or to take it back to your example, if you hired a delivery driver who was working for your company, and that delivery driver drove the LLC-owned vehicle and got into an accident, now the LLC and the driver are at personal risk. But as the owners of the company, you weren't personally doing anything. And so the main protections from an LLC come once you start to add employees, or you start to add equipment or real estate or other property that create liabilities in and of themselves, or the potential for liability. And that's where you're really going to see the main liability protections coming in, at least with regard to lawsuits.
Okay, so let's take this in a different vein real quick. Let's just say someone has a consulting business, right, or an online e-commerce type of business. Is there a difference that we should be looking at when it comes to sole proprietorship or LLC, just for the liability of what the company does?
So as far as that goes, there could be some benefits, especially if you're dealing with credit card information and those sorts of things, where you can try and build in a layer of protection from those sorts of data breaches, as long as your company is taking steps to protect against that. Other than that, the main benefits, and this is something I will typically defer to a tax professional on, is you can make elections within an LLC to be taxed as a corporation, whether it be an S Corp or a C Corp, and get benefits of the taxing structure that you wouldn't necessarily have gotten as a sole proprietorship or as a partnership.
So as I hear this, and I just kind of wrap my mind around everything you're saying, is talk to a lawyer.
I recommend that you speak to, anytime that you're thinking about setting up a business, I recommend that you speak with a lawyer, that you speak with a CPA or an accountant, and that you speak with an insurance professional to figure out what are your liabilities, because once we determine where your liabilities are, then we can address, either from a taxing standpoint or from a legal standpoint, what insurance needs to be in place and what can we do to try and minimize those risks as you're in this infancy stage of starting a business.
I love it. Great advice. So, Andrew, thank you again for shedding some more light on this structure and liability topic with some of the different options that we have. And we'll come back with some more videos and see you at that point in time. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.